we think we know ourselves, we assume we know ourselves, but really we don't. And we don't really make time to spend with ourselves, right? We think, oh, we are ourselves, so why should we spend time with ourselves? But in the same way that we might go on a date with a lover or spend high quality time with a friend, how many times do we actually gift ourselves that high quality time? And if we consider that we are actually the person who we'll spend our entire life with, even more than our wife, our mother, our children, like we are the one person who we'll die with, who we'll be in every single moment of our lives with very rare exceptions of spiritual transcendence, we will be with this person, with this body mind. And fostering a healthy and intimate and loving connection, and integrate all these different parts that might be in inner conflict is such a beautiful work, or such a beautiful, not even work, but I don't know, beautiful opportunity, whatever we want to call it. It's such a beautiful thing, and we may think it's a waste of time, but it's not. Like spending time alone and even spending time be bored, once we go through that initial resistance of boredom, at some point things will open up, especially if we don't distract ourselves and introspect and meditate. Things will deepen and open up and clarify to levels that might be pretty surprising and fulfilling, more fulfilling than anything we could have imagined on the outside. When we actually look at our lives and how much time we actually spend with ourselves, which means not only not spending time with other people, but solely with us, but also not distracting ourselves, right? Like imagine like being on our phone, reading a book, learning, working, scrolling, all of these things. Imagine doing them on a date with a loved one, or quality time with a friend or your parents when you go out with them. That would be somewhat rude, but we always do it with ourselves, right? As soon as we have the opportunity to be alone and spend precious time with ourselves, we check our phones or distract ourselves in another way. And even if it's not distraction, right? Reading a book can be also an act of self-care and self-love. It is still not, it is a step towards, and that's beautiful and great, but it's still not full-on quality time with ourselves, which is quite rare and quite unique. And a good rule of thumb is, would I do this on a date with someone I'm super interested in and in love with? Like right now, would I be reading a book? Would I be checking my phone and scrolling on my phone? Would I be doing anything except simply being with them and having a beautiful conversation with them, or not even talking, but being in communion with them, looking into their eyes, appreciating them? And we can do those very same things with ourselves. And I know this might sound weird to a certain extent, and we don't have to do everything just like that, right? We don't have to stare into a mirror and do eye gazing with ourselves. We don't have to treat ourselves the same way sexually we would do a loved one, although we can, and that can be an incredibly interesting experience. But what I mean by that is mostly, basically, for example, doing self-care, whatever it may be, reading, taking a bath, getting a massage, but then coming home and then, for example, sitting on a couch, making it cozy, and then just sitting with ourselves. And it doesn't even need to be meditation, but it can be as simple as sitting with ourselves. And initially that might be uncomfortable, but as I mentioned earlier, at some point, when we do this for long enough and reliably enough, we've created a safe space that allows us to open up to ourselves and be honest with ourselves about the things that we might have been missing, lacking, sad about, excited about, fun about, things we've been neglecting. And then first, as in a relationship that has been not in harmony with another, first those stressful things need to be sorted out, right? If we have been in a not working relationship with a loved one and always checking our phone on dates, never really talking with them, of course, when we first start to talk to them, there will be things that need to be sorted out. But once they've been sorted out, there can be such a beautiful newfound relationship with another and ourselves that we may have never experienced before, or maybe just in childhood, quantitatively and qualitatively. We might have spent a lot of quantitative time with ourselves when we were lonely, but have we ever had quality time with ourselves? And if so, how much? And how much do we actually want to give ourselves? And that can be an interesting question to explore and test out. And I can say that it's been one of the most beautiful times I've had in my life so far. True quality time. So good luck on that self-love journey, and I'm gonna take some time for myself now. Take care.